Everybody's missing this fact about the do immigrants have rights thing, and I don't know why nobody's talking about it. The argument is the undocumented immigrants do not have the same rights as US citizens, particularly in free speech and rights to due process, because they are not US citizens, so therefore they do not have rights protected by the Constitution. I mean, Mike Johnson's whole thing is that they are visitors, and when you're a visitor, you don't come to start a ruckus. But there's a fact that completely shuts down that argument that the opposition will never bring up. I'm oversimplifying a lot of stuff, but basically when the Constitution was being written, there was the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. A bunch of people wanted a centralized government, and a bunch of people just wanted to be left on their own. But we need a government to be organized, and they wanted to create the United States. So there's this whole struggle between how much government, and if there should be a federal government over all the states, or it's just the states for themselves. There's a big deal. One of the compromises was fine, we're gonna have a federal government, we're gonna have a federal constitution, but at the same time we have to pass the Bill of Rights. Because no matter what you people say, the government will try to go after the people, and the people need to have their rights enshrined in this constitution. So at the same time, or quickly after, they signed the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Remember, the guys who wrote this were just people with ideas, trying to make a country, right? Trying to make a better country than the one they had just broken away from, and particularly a better country than France, which was currently falling apart. And a lot of the founding fathers believed in God, and even if they didn't, they were still heavily influenced by the prominence of Christianity at the time. That's why a lot of these documents say inalienable rights, or endowed by our creator, or something like that. It doesn't matter if you believe in a Christian God, or no God at all, or whatever it is. People are born with these rights because they are people. Now, historically, the question has been, who counts as a person? That's not great. But we've made progress. That's why we know it doesn't matter if you were born in Sierra Leone or California or Utah, or if you're Canadian or Chinese or Japanese or British or French. You were born on this planet, so you were born with the rights. Not because the Constitution gave them to you, but because you were born with it. You were born with the right to free speech. You were born with the right to bear arms. You were born with the right to remain silent. You were born with the right to due process. And America, one of the freaking great things about America is that we recognize those rights that you were born with. Don't let the government step all over the rights of somebody else, because they are your rights too. The same fury that you defend the First Amendment, the same fury that you defend the Second Amendment, should be the same fury you defend the rest of their rights, because they have them just as much as you do. This is not left versus right. This is Americana versus authoritarianism.